Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is the Fox and this is a cooking series. Cooking with the Fox. We are cooking with the Fox. We are cooking with the Fox. Today, I am going to be doing something very basic. We're keeping it simple, basic, nothing complicated, because I think the problem is that most time when people are cooking, they are trying to complicate their lives without knowing the basics of food 101. So I am going to be making a beef pasta. Nothing complicated. Something that you can teach your boyfriend or your husband or somebody who wants to, cook dinner and not let it be mama or girlfriend cooking dinner. So I've got my beef stewing cubes. These are stewing cubes. Stewing cubes are much easier to cook than just normal beef cut up, right? So this is a sofrito. Basically, it's like your onion, your celery, maybe a little bit of carrot. It cuts your life from having to always cut up onions. So you can get this sometimes from Woolworths. I think Pick n Pay already cut up onions and stuff. Ask them to give me a deal that I can advertise them on my cooking page. So let's go to the basics of what you need. And once I've gone through the basics of what you need, we will pour ourselves a glass of something fancy to drink, and then we will start cooking and chatting. So I've got my onions and celery and what, right? I will show you a shot of that in a second. So I've got my onions, and you want your beef, you want your spices, your salt, your pepper, olive oil, and some sugar. I don't have sugar in my house because we're trying to snatch the body, so I use xylitol, which tastes just like sugar and it also is good for cooking. So get all your ingredients together. Let me get my drink and then let's get into it, darling. So what you're going to do is you're going to first set up your hot stove. Let me turn it on. A little bit of your olive oil. I say a little, but it's a lot. Put in your onions and your celery and all that good stuff in there. Right. Put in a pinch of salt. And let that start sweating. Okay? Now, what you want to do whilst you wait for that to start sweating, you want to grab yourself a glass of, so I'm grabbing myself, no, I'm not grabbing myself this one, baby. No hunting. So whilst this is sweating away, you can hear it sizzling. I'm going to be having a Desperados. Desperados in the UK is amazing. There's also something very similar in South Africa. I forgot the name, but it also sounds a little bit Mexican. It's really good. It's a beer. I don't like beer, but I like this one. It's very light. It's got tequila flavor. It's amazing. Now let's take it to the gate too. Here's child. Cheers! So this is sweating away. The one thing I forgot to tell you guys that you will need is some garlic. You cannot have any stew, any sauce if you don't have onion and garlic. Onion and garlic should be your basic staples in your house. Yeah? Please don't disappoint me and start making your sauces and don't forget your garlic and don't forget your onion. So I like a lot of garlic, especially since this is a pasta. So I'm taking 1 teaspoon's worth of garlic and I'm going to heat that in here. And I'm just gonna mix that in. You can see that your onions are almost ready when they start going translucent. Right, kids? So that's done. Put that in here. Wait for that to sweat off. So the conversation I wanted to have with you guys today was an almost unpopular opinion. So unpopular opinion cooking with the Fox style. So I wanted to have a chat with you guys about cheating ass men. Why is it that when men cheat, women are expected to forgive them, but when women cheat, the man can't forgive? Sorry, the man can't forgive. Why is it that society finds it okay for, or have taught men that it's okay for them to cheat, and that women, it's different? It's like women are built, yes we are, physically we are different, that is true. However, cheating is cheating, okay? So I'm cutting my chilies into this. I use scissors, guys. You know why I use scissors? Because I can avoid touching the chili. I don't like touching chili. Yeah, that it is what it is. So why is it that I'm using 2 bird's eye chili? They are freaking hot. You don't have to have a bird's eye chili for the stew. I do because Scott and I have got a really mature palate. I'm joking. We like our food very spicy. Okay, so I've added my chili. You can see the chilies there. So in that, I can see a little bit of the garlic is burning and it's browning. No, it's not burning. And I'm adding my beef cubes. Right? So what I do is I add a little bit more salt onto the meat. I add my barbecue spice. I add my garlic salt. If my garlic salt will come out. Oh my God, you know, it's already got garlic, so you don't need to add a lot, but add some garlic salt. I add some paprika. And I add the black peppers. Add about a teaspoon's worth of black pepper. Stir that all up and let your meat brown. Jesus Christ, here we go. So this is what it should look like in the interim. So stir that up, let it brown before we add any tomato sauce, because I'm going to add, it's going to be a tomato based stew. Let that brown, then we add the tomato stew, then we add a little bit more of the ingredients, and that's it. It's not complicated. It's a really nice basic stew. So what I wanted to tell you was, what I wanted to discuss is why is it okay for men to cheat but for women to not cheat, and men find it very difficult to forgive women when women have cheated. I'm generalizing, right? This is not fact, but I'm generally, when I look at relationships and relationship problems, That's what I see. Woo, chico. Chili. So, I think in society as a whole, I think we've gotten to a point as women where we've accepted cheating like it's like children grow teeth. We just think that it's part of the process, it's a teething pain. If a man cheats, it is what it is, and we just move on. And that is absolute trash, let me tell you. We don't have to accept men cheating, and we shouldn't. Men cheat because they know they can cheat. Men who don't cheat, the very few that we have met or that we find, have either cheated once and decided that's not for them, and they choose not to cheat because they realize that it's the risk of cheating far supersedes, like the implications of cheating far supersedes the implications of staying faithful, and they want to stay in a happy and healthy relationship, so they choose not to cheat. I think that once us as a society get to a point where we stop allowing men to feed us this BS that it's what men do, I need to cheat, I need to spread my seed, it's part of life. If we stop allowing men to fool us into doing that, then we'll have more happy and longer lasting relationships. And I'm not saying that women don't cheat. Women cheat, darling. And when women cheat, we do the damn thing. We definitely do. But most of the time, in my experience, in generalizing, because I have to caveat that when someone is cheating, it's usually the man. And the person who usually expected to forgive is the woman. Right? Women are very possessive of their property. So if I were to find out that my man is cheating, I don't like the fact that he's cheating on me with another girl. And the competitive side of me is like, no, he's mine and I'm gonna fight you for her. Instead of just being like, he didn't value me as a person, so why am I staying in the situation? Because I can value this person, I can value him enough to want to be faithful and not spread my uterus around or spread my eggs, give my eggs a little bit of competition, you know? Let the strongest sperm win. I'm not trying to do that. So why is it that men think that they can see who they can spread their sperm to? Jesus. Maybe spill that. It smells so good already. So I really struggle with that concept of allowing men to cheat. And South Africa is worse. Africa is renowned for knowing that. I mean, there's polygamy in South Africa, but I think like in Africa, but not in South Africa, in Africa, but I feel like polygamy is one of those situations where you go into it knowing that this guy is polygamous, and we both have an understanding that we're going to be wife number 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. But I don't want to be in a relationship with Joe Soap, and next thing this nigga tells me, ooh, thank God I'm only cooking for my family, because damn, I done coughed all over that. I don't want to be, in a relationship with Joe Soap, then Joe Soap one day wake up and tell me that he ain't trying to wife me because he's already got another wife, or I'm wife number or girlfriend number 4. I don't want that, and I'm not going to accept that. And I think we need to stop perpetuating the same stereotype for women and for our kids. I think as a child, as women who have got daughters, and those who have daughters, I've got boys and daughters, but as a woman who's got a daughter, I don't want my child to ever go through a situation where she is in a relationship and she fights for somebody who didn't value her enough to stay faithful. And as a mother of a son, I want to instill the thought process that women are of high value, and that when one chooses to give you her heart, she's doing so because she trusts and loves you. And that if you were to step out of that relationship, you're breaking someone's trust and love. And that's not fair. And it goes either way. If he's cheated on, that person did the same thing to him. And if somebody does that to her, she also should leave. So I think we need to teach those values. And a lot of our social ills will be fixed, because what it will do, if boys are taught at a very young age, before the age of wanting, I'm not putting a lid, don't put a lid on this, by the way. We're trying to get it to brown. Okay? The thought process behind this for me is that when you teach little boys to respect women enough to not cheat on them and to value women at such high regard, is that even in other social ills like beating and abuse and gender-based violence, the simplest thing that we're starting with is respecting women from the start. And to get that right will help cut down the cases of other things that could really, that do burden our society. Wow, I'm quite deep today. So if we were to just teach our sons to respect women more, by doing something so simple as do not cheat, stay faithful, because your woman is everything to you. Now, lady. It will do so much more for society, because men then wouldn't beat because this woman deserves better and that she deserves the world from you. And beating her would be like, if you can't cheat on her, why would you beat her? You know what I mean? So this is what my stew looks like. I'm gonna turn my heat down because wow. So it is looking mighty brown. Now that I know that my flavors, oh my gosh. Now that I know that my flavors have developed, I'm going to then add my tomato sauce. I'm going to use a tomato passata. It is basically just canned tomato in a non-canned. It literally is canned tomato. So if you've got canned chopped tomatoes, you can use that. This has got no bits. It literally is just the sauce of a tomato. So we pour that in. And now we add our suiker. So this is about 2 teaspoons of xylitol, and we're going to give that a nice stir, right? Now, I'm going to close the lid. That is fucking spicy. We're going to close the lid, and I'm going to come back to it in about 30 minutes. But what I'm going to do in the interim, so after 10 minutes, I'm going to come and add just a little bit more of water just to get the stew, bubbling again. I don't want the tomato sauce to reduce too much, but I want the meat to be in a really good sauce. So you keep adding a little bit of water, but I'll show you guys whilst I'm doing it. When I come back, I'm not going to cook my pasta yet, because when you make pasta, we don't want our pasta to be overdone. We want it to be a little bit al dente. So that's what's coming up next. I'm gonna go and sit in the sun waiting for my stew to keep cooking. Not too hot. I'm actually gonna add a little bit of water now. Like I said, not a lot of water. This is the amount of water that I'm gonna put in. Pour that in. Mix it around. It looks a little bit too runny, but that's perfect.
Buongiorno, fratelli e sorelle. Come sta? That's all I know in Italian. I'm quarter Italian, as you know, because I'm the star of the channel. And I'm away to show you how to make the best pasta. So the water is boiling. You must add some oil. And then you must add some salt. Good portion of salt. And then you get it boiling. You don't have to get boiling. You pour in the pasta, and today we are using this beautiful pasta. Our supplier of pasta makes lots of interesting pastas. So that's the pasta. I'll be back in 8 minutes. Al dente, we want it al dente. That starts bringing something to the water. The oil, the salt. Give it a stir, let the oil permeate the pasta. And I see you in 6 minutes. Personal taste maybe, but look, still firm, not falling off the spoon. And when you bite, none of that chalkiness, no chalkiness. Still a bit of bite, it's perfect. Oh, go and drain it.
Alright guys, so as you saw, Scott did the Italian Scott did the pasta for me. So what I usually do so I've added the pasta into the sauce. And I'm going to give it a stir. So I'm trying to make sure that every piece of pasta is coated by the sauce.
Can you hear me?
So as you can tell, you can see that the meat is, some of it is broken up and it's coating the pasta, and it's easy to break up. See, look, I've got it on the spoon. That is perfect, the perfect texture for your meat. It's been in here for about 2 hours, and because it's been cooking on a low heat for 2 hours, the meat is eventually starting to break off, which is beautiful, especially for a pasta like this. So what you're going to do is I'm going to get a bowl. I'll put this in the bowl. Scott wants some parmigiano. Is that why you took it out, right? Add some parmigiano all over the pasta. All right, and add a little bit of the spring onion, and there we go.
I made the pasta, so it's going to be pretty good, I'm sure. Let me just taste that.
Mackenzie wants some.
It's good, it's nice, very nice. Very
Out of 10.
Out of 10, it's at 8.
8.5. Mackenzie, what do you think?
And the meat's tender, it's beautiful.
Wonderful. All right, guys, you saw 8 out of 10. I gave you guys the most basic recipe on a quick beef pasta. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Try it. Let me know in the comments what you think. The only thing I didn't show you was I added a little bit more of sugar because I found that the tomato sauce was a little bit too tart. So you can do that too. I'll put the right quantities in the description box. You guys are the bomb dog home. Thank you so much for watching my second. I don't know if this will come out first or second. Don't forget, like we had in our conversation earlier on, don't allow gender stereotypes that men allow women to perpetuate. Cheers!
Men allow women to
My favorite drink. Listen, if you're going to be in this video, come into shot. Don't give your little shout outs in the background. You guys are the bomb.com. Love you. This is why I drink.